So full disclosure, this film was actually one of my most anticipated films of the year, mostly because I really liked the job that Olivia Wilde did with Booksmart. I thought that was funny, it wasn't unique, but I really enjoyed her direction and her sense of style for that film. And so going into this film, I was very, very excited. However, there was a big dark cloud surrounding this film that really lowered my expectations for this film. But honestly, giving my honest review here, I actually enjoyed this film for what this film was. The film is centered around this little community where the wives stay at home and cook and clean, and the husbands go out to work. And things look very perfect on the surface level. However, there are some mysterious things afoot around this community that nobody really investigates. That is until Florence Pugh begins to have a little bit of a episode, and she begins to question her surroundings, questions what she's doing there, what her husband is doing, and what is actually going around this community. And for the most part, I really enjoyed that premise because I thought it was fine for what it was, and it did a really good job of keeping you really on your toes about what's actually going on around this community, and that is something that I really enjoyed. The film has a really star-studded cast ranging from Olivia Wilde herself to Chris Pine, Harry Styles, and many others. And even though this film is essentially Florence Pugh's film, the whole film is basically told from her perspective, and there are barely any scenes where she's not in it. There are a couple of shots where she's not in it, but for the most part, this is Florence Pugh's movie. Everybody else is just side characters for side characters that really didn't need to be there, but just to fill the community around her and ask so many questions. And I really honestly did not mind this movie. I thought it was perfectly fine. I was very intrigued by the premise of this film. I was really intrigued by what was actually going on, and I, for the most part, really enjoyed everything about this film. However, there are some elements of this film that really didn't work for me, and the whole reveal about what's actually going on in this community didn't work for me. I felt like it was a cop-out ending, and it just did not work for me. I appreciate Olivia Wilde's ambiguity for going in a different direction than she did with Booksmart, and not staying in that same realm, exploring her options, trying to see what she's able to do, what experiments work and what experiments don't. And for the most part, I think she did a really fine job of directing this film and giving us the best performance out of Florence Pugh. However, I'm not able to say the same thing about other characters in this film. Jack and Alice are probably one of the most horniest characters that I've seen this year, and the way that Harry Styles was eating watermelon in this film actually took me out of it, because I'm like, dude, you're doing it kind of wrong. But I'm pretty sure that was the direction that Olivia Wilde gave him while, he was eating her watermelon. For the most part, there were moments in this film when I thought Harry Styles did a really good job of giving us a decent performance. But if you've seen that clip that has been surfacing around TikTok or YouTube's, then you know exactly what scene I'm talking about, where he is over the top and really hammering the acting, and you can see that he is trying his best to give us a really nice performance. However, it doesn't go on too much, and he doesn't really have a lot of screen time in this film. He's very limited in this film, and I think that worked to a certain degree because it kept a certain amount of mystery around him and around this community that I really enjoyed. But Chris Pine, love the guy. He was fine in this film. I didn't think that he was the best in this film, but he was okay for what the role was and what the role was trying to convey. There were a lot of other things that actually did work for me, especially some visuals that actually enhanced it just a little bit. Some of the sound design in this film is actually really well done. I really enjoyed a lot of the sound design in this film that made it feel like you were trapped in this world with her, and that is something that I really enjoyed. But however, sometimes the script doesn't work all too well, and there are some moments where it feels like it's getting a little bit repetitive, especially in the images department. But there are images on the screen that flash up many times, and it just feels like it wasn't doing its job very well. And once we get into the mystery about this film, what's actually going on, that's when I was really more intrigued about what was actually going on, and I was a little bit more invested. in. It does take a bit of a slow approach. It takes a little while to get into, but you're tossed into the situation really quick. That it does a really good job of not only emoting some great emotions in this film, but actually makes you wonder what's actually going on. And I don't know if it's because there's a lot of controversy around this film, a lot of things that have been coming out in the past couple of weeks that makes people feel like this is an awful film. Honestly, I don't think it's that bad of a film. I think there are bad elements of this film that really didn't work for me, but there were other elements that actually did work, and it enhanced my enjoyment of this film because I don't think it's that bad, but it's definitely not what I wanted this film to be. Even with the controversy surrounding this film, I thought this was a decent film. It's not one that I'm going to rewatch anytime soon, or it's going to be one that I'm going to rush out and buy, but it's definitely a stream it. I think this is a fun film that you can pop on a rainy day. It's definitely not the film that I wanted to see, but I think for the most part, I think Olivia Wilde does a really good job of going into certain directions and having some things that actually do work. It's not as great as I wanted it to be. It's not going to be the Oscar award nominated film that I thought it had the potential to be. But you know what? I came out enjoying this film. For the most part, it was fine for what it was and what it was trying to do. I like the fact that she is going in an ambitious route and she's not doing the same things that she's already done before. But I think for the most part, she does a really good job of not only hammering some things here and there. The message of the film does get a little bit heavy-handed, but honestly, it didn't get to me until it was actually hammered into me. I'm like, oh, light bulb. But that was just me because I'm just low as fuck. But overall, I'm going to go ahead and give Don't Worry Darling a 5 out of 10. Like I said, it's not as awful as a lot of people make it out to be, but it's fine. There are some intriguing elements about this film that I really enjoyed. There are things that could have been done a little bit better, and it could have been wrapped up a little bit better. But I think it is a worth watching on streaming. If you are just having a cold night and you are wanting to watch something, I think this is going to be a perfect film. So grab your blanket, grab your pillow, grab some hot chocolate, and enjoy this film when it comes out on streaming. But have you guys checked out Don't Worry Darling? Did you guys like it? Did you not? Go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you like this video, go ahead and click that like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on more reviews. Click that bell notification so you get notified every single time that a video pops up, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side.